Hi, this is Roman, and today we're going to be talking about Unit 8 on conditional probability, Day 19, using probability to determine whether events are dependent. And our focus question is, in which ways can probabilities be used to justify whether events are dependent or independent? So for today, we're going to focus on slide 10, which has a which one doesn't belong strategy. And I'd like to go into a strategy that is similar to this just to get the students going in terms of speaking and really verbally discussing questions and or starting to participate in the chat for students who might not have been participating in the chat in prior lessons. So I am going to change up which one doesn't belong and make it more of a student-friendly activity. And the name, you might have seen it on Facebook or their Instagram accounts. It's called One's Gotta Go. And you're initiating this in their classes. So here are a few samples of One's Gotta Go. So we have one here that has music, sports, video games, movies. And this is very engaging for them to discuss because they all have strong opinions. And one high leverage move that I think you could make as you implement this is take your pen or pencil and start writing down some of the voices that you're hearing that could be brand new, and really build on those voices to start pushing towards some peer-to-peer discussion or having them use accountable talk stems within this activity. Here are a few more samples. So we have our cereal sample with Frosted Flakes, Lucky Charms, Fruity Pebbles, and Fruit Loops. We have our candy option with One's Gotta Go, M&M's, Kit Kat, Snickers, and Reese's. And again, it's very similar to which one doesn't belong, right? They pick one that has to go. And when we were in the classroom, we might have asked them to go to certain corners of the room. And I would suggest using Google Breakout Rooms as an alternative to have them share their opinions in smaller groups. Here's one more: McDonald's, Burger King, Chick-fil-A, or Taco Bell, right? And again, these are just ideas that get them to start talking, and you might hear voices that you haven't heard from before. Also, one big suggestion I have with this is after you do this, slowly transition into the which one doesn't belong from slide 10 on our lesson. So they get into the habit of talking, right? It becomes second nature. They just did something that was very engaging, and that becomes the norm of the class. So one more thing I want to show is how you might want to set up your breakout rooms here. And quick methods, if you haven't done so yet, using the Google DOE account. So here, if I go to my Google Meet, right, I'm going to click New Meeting, start an instant meeting. And you'll see a few options here. You'll see that you have one new option. Let's turn this on. My camera is blocked. Can I allow it? Let's allow it. Okay. So you could turn on this option right here, which is brand new in your settings. So you could noise cancel now, which I think is very useful. And then if you want to set up your breakout rooms, the new Google Meet did add this triangle, square, and circle activities for all Google platforms, but it's still not in the breakout room. So you would click your breakout rooms, then click set up rooms. And again, you could add as many breakout rooms as you want for these activities, like which one doesn't belong, right? One more suggestion that I might have that I find useful is create one extra breakout room. So as you have your students in your breakout rooms and you click shuffle, after you're done with that, if they have groups of 3 or groups of 4 possibly, I would suggest to create one more. And if you see a student struggling or you see a student not communicating, you could drag and drop them into that individual breakout room and jump in there and have a one-on-one conversation with them. And I find that very helpful in my lessons. So if you're doing the One's Gotta Go or which one doesn't belong, here's how you would set up the breakout rooms, right? You have the shuffle option, you have a timer option here. Once you click open rooms, you'll see the breakout rooms and you can click join to any one of them. As I'm joining breakout room 1 here, and you'll see as a teacher, you could jump around and again, you could really get a sense of who's talking, who's not talking in those smaller groups. and possibly use a teacher tracker to keep track of that. One more thing that I want to point out is that as a student, they now have the option to ask for help in a breakout room, and that'll pop up here. So you'll see ask for help as an option in those breakout rooms. So that's one thing that we could use there as well. Also, setting up these accounts, I do have a few life hacks for you guys. If you want to use those breakout rooms for these activities, one of the biggest complaints has been the admit button. Since it's a DOE email, you have to admit everybody who's out of network. So the way to avoid this is to create an event. So really quickly, I'm going to show you my events, right? I have my classes here. If you create an event, you just want to invite every single student you have. Now I could see how that could be a little bit cumbersome, right? And maybe that might be a little annoying. So let's show you guys a fast way to do that. So if I click edit event here, all right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my Google Classroom. And my Google Classroom is set up in my my school's Gmail accounts, right? So if I go to a course and I go to people, fastest way to do this is click all of them under students, and under actions, click email. And I'm gonna have all these emails here. So what I could do is I could copy all of them, and then here under guests, I could just paste all of them. And if I press enter, I've just added all of those names. Now they were already here, so I'm not gonna click save, but you would just click save. And now what happens is as your students join, you do not have to click admit anymore. They will just be allowed in, whether they accept your invite or don't. So if they accept your invite, they'll get a notification on their phone. If they don't accept your invite, they'll still be allowed in. And when they go to their Google Meet screen on their app or on their computer, they'll see your class. So like for me, they'll see period 3 calculus. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope you might try One's Gotta Go as a conversation starter, or something before Which One Doesn't Belong, to get students engaged in it.